Hi everybody, today we're joined by Mr. Masa Nakajima. He's joining us from Tokyo, and Masa is a watchmaker with a wonderful shop called Masa's Pastime, and they do incredible work restoring pocket watches and also recasing pocket watches into wristwatches so that you can kind of bring these old wonderful pocket watches back to life. Masa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, I thank you.
Yeah, and really appreciate you coming from all the way from Kichijoji.
Oh, I really enjoyed being here.
How did you get into this? Like, what is your story?
Well, I never be a watchmaker in my life, before I started this, and I was a diver, scuba diver. And once I was in the States, and I met the guy who was buying antique pocket watches and selling it to the guys in Japan, and I started helping him a little bit. That's how I sort of started.
So you were kind of self-trained as a pocket watch restoration person.
Right.
Okay. And then over time, you kind of built up a team as well, because you have quite a wonderful team too. Like Philippe Dufour actually came to visit your workshop, isn't that right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And your team, tell me a little bit about the people on your team, because they can do a lot of different things, right?
Yes, I have 7 guys, working together with me, and one is an engraver. He makes a dial and cases, and he engraves anything. And other than him, movement makers and repairers and the polish finishers, of the watches, and we all work together. So that's how we make one watch, all together, and we make the dial and case and the movement. We do anything there,
Yeah. So you can make. Well, you're about to actually later this year launch your own in-house movement, but previously you were restoring existing pocket watch movements for wristwatch cases.
Right. Yep.
Very cool. All right. So we have like a spread of things because Masa is joining us for Chungcho in Hong Kong today, Friday, and tomorrow, Saturday. And I thought it'd be fun to have a closer look at a few very special things that you brought along with us.
Okay.
So can you tell us a little about this piece? Like this is kind of like this is the entry level piece, really. This is one of the cheapest things that you're offering right now, but it's still like extremely beautiful. Tell us, what is this?
Well, actually, this was an experimental piece. When 2 young guys joined us 2 years ago, I decided, to give them the homework. And one guy designed the dial, and one guy worked on the movement, which is the Illinois watch company, American movement, 100 years old. And the guy designed the sector dial, but I didn't want him to put any ink on it, the paint or ink, that I don't really like. So he actually made this dial by heating the sterling silver plate, to the extreme temperature to fog it and shines, make it shine in some part, by polishing it. And he actually engraved the numbers and names and put powders in it and bake it.
Wow.
So like enamel bake,
I see.
So it's no ink is used on this dial.
Super interesting.
Yeah, and the other guy really did a good job on restoring this movement. So it's really a experimental piece, although it's sold cheap now, it's worth more.
Yeah, it's a super cool piece of work. Okay, and then the next one, this is super interesting too.
Okay.
What is this?
This is actually a custom watch made with the Lange Söhne movement. It used to be a small lady's pocket watch, made back in 1890s.
I guess for someone named Catherine.
Yeah.
Catherine,
I guess that's the first owner of the watch, obviously. And we cased it in a silver waterproof case.
I see. And the hands, you made these hands, or these were the original hands?
That's the original hands.
Wow, so these are the original Louis hands as well.
Right.
It's such a beautiful shape.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Although we can make exactly the same thing now.
The dial is enamel? Or
that's enamel.
I see. Enamel and then printed. Wow.
Yeah.
And the decoration is really beautiful on the movement. In fact, you still have that engraved balance cock as well, which I guess Lange even till today still does. Amazing.
They carry it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is really special. Please tell us about this. I love this.
Okay. It's a Patek Philippe pocket watch converted to a wristwatch, and it was really a special project, you know. And I bought a pocket watch, Patek Philippe ladies pocket watch in the perfect shape. It's got original case and original dial, and I really thought I would make a good wristwatch, you know, using it, and decided to do a Shakudo dial, you know, making on it.
So that's another specialty of yours. This black finish is called Shakudo. What is Shakudo?
Well, actually, the Shakudo is a copper alloy, you know, approximately 3% of pure gold added, you know, to pure copper. And it pretty much looks like a pure copper, you know, the red, you know, looking. But when it's covered by the oxide film, you know, made by boiling it with some chemical substances, you know, it gets really dark. But it stays there for a long time, you know. It's proven because when we see a Japanese sword, you know, the accessories and stuff, it's there for 500 or 1,000 years, you know.
I
So
see.
because apparently it's permanent, you know.
So Shakudo is a technique that used to be used on old Japanese swords. I think it was on the hilt, right? Like
Yeah,
on the
right.
on the guard of the hand. And so that's why the guard was that black color.
Fitting of the sword, yeah.
Amazing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you made a Shakudo case and dial. But the Shakudo is a coating, so it goes on top of something, right?
Right.
So
it's a-
underneath is sterling silver, or it's
No. The Shakudo is there, and it's only covered by the oxide film. You know,
I see.
see, it's, the black
I
film
see.
is on the Shakudo.
I see. Okay.
It's
So
solid
the,
Shakudo. You know.
so the material of the case and the material of the dial is a copper and gold alloy, and that alloy oxidizes into this black color.
Right. Yeah.
Got
exactly.
it. Okay. Awesome. Man, it's such a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
And then the case is your own design too, right?
Right. And one of the young guy designed the case, and he made little curve here, you know, and it was really tough to do it at home. I mean, in house.
Yeah.
But he.
But you did
actually
it.
Yeah, did it. Yeah, I'm really happy to see that. you know.
Amazing. All right. And then can you tell us a little about this? This one's pretty exciting for me.
Yeah, you made it exciting.
Yeah, I made it a pain in your ass. But so this is it's a Golay ladies 5-minute repeater. So it's not a minute repeater; it's a 5-minute repeater, which means that it chimes on every 5 minutes rather than every minute. And actually, it originally came out of this, which actually is beautiful too, like a lovely shade of rose gold. But obviously, like, you know, I wanted a wristwatch, and so you and I worked on a few different versions of this case, and finally came up with this,
All right.
with a big, wide, convex bezel, as well as a convex case back, exhibition case back. Slight shape to the lug, so it curves downwards, but also curves outwards a little bit. And your team also managed to move the slide, which was amazing, because obviously, on the pocket watch originally, you know, that is for setting the time, and the slide would have been here. But you've managed to move the slide another 90 degrees so that it's opposite the crown, which is amazing.
That's actually the hardest part of it, you know,
Yeah.
when you convert the pocket watch repeater to a wristwatch. You know, we did it a couple of times, you know, but it's the hardest part. Really, you got to make the spring and, you know, the bars to extend it, you know, to change the position of the slide, you know, and it's easy to say. It's really hard to do.
I bet,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, your team did an amazing job. I love it. All right. Well,
You like it?
I do like it very much. I actually, this morning, I just kept like dinging it. You know, it was just really enjoyable. It's a beautiful sound. In fact, one last thing, the case is brass, right?
It is brass now.
Yeah. Because normally when you do your prototypes for cases, you try everything out in brass first.
Right.
And then later on, you will change to something else.
That's the common way.
Because you can do silver, you can do gold, you can do different colors of gold. but there was something about this brass case that was really nice too.
You're the first one who
Really?
said that.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of like it too, you know.
Yeah. Like it has a nice sound too, the case. Okay, last thing to show. Can you tell us a little bit about this pocket watch? Because this is amazing too.
Well, this is, I found it in Japan, and it was in Kyoto probably. And the Japanese porter was requested to make the case for the pocket watch.
Wow.
There's a little letter in the box that, you know, and the guy really had a hard time doing this, you know, and finally made one. It's a porcelain, you know,
Yeah.
and it's housing the American pocket watch movement perfectly with the spring here, and you'll see it's
So the spring is what allows you to keep
right,
the porcelain
right. Maybe
on.
that's the only way it could be done, you know.
Because you can't, you can't like bend porcelain. If you
no,
do,
no.
you've just snapped it and cracked it. God, it's incredible. I love it.
Well, you see a lot of enameled pocket watch case, you know, but you won't see the porcelain case, you know, for
Wow.
the pocket. This is the first one I have ever saw.
Interesting. So this is for sale, but this is more like a vintage pocket watch
Yeah,
that you
right,
have
right.
available for sale.
This is not a custom
And then you
watch.
just restored the movement. Fantastic. All right. So Masa is here for Trunk Show with us in Hong Kong, February 24th and 25th. And if you'd like to visit him in Tokyo, he's based out in Kichijoji. And we look forward to having a great Trunk Show with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it for
you.
now.
I really enjoyed.